From the wharf in Oromocto, New Brunswick, we set off on the Lincoln Trail. A calm, almost soundless beginning, the Oromocto River meets the St. John River. The St. John River is known as the Wolastoq River in the Wolastoqiak indigenous language and means beautiful river. The water barely ripples. The only trace of movement is a pickup truck and empty trailer by the launch, a hint that someone's already out on the river this morning. This is where the Trans-Canada Trail connects the land route we're on with the water route, the lower river passage, that follows the Wolastoq River all the way to the port city of St. John. I don't happen to have a canoe with me, so we'll come back one day to paddle that stretch. This marks the start of our ride from Oromocto to Woodstock, the next 130 kilometers of the Trans-Canada Trail we're cycling across Canada. As we pedal up Wharf Street, a bird calls from somewhere in the trees. Even higher up, a plane whirs softly, sailing through endless skies. Below, the trees sway in a cool breeze as we trace the curves of the Oromocto River. Through the branches, we catch flashes of the Oromocto Marina, rows of tidy motorboats rocking gently, weekend ready. The trail winds through Sir Douglas Hazen Park and Deer Park, a quiet green corridor. The stone dust surface crackles softly under the tires. Then come the concrete barriers, wide turns and tight zigzags that feel almost like an obstacle course, keeping cars out but adding a dash of play to the ride. We pass beneath Route 102, light at the end of the tunnel in the most literal sense, and cross the bridge over the Oromocto River, where a few others have paused to watch the water drift between the two bridges, both busy with traffic. Early autumn colors are just beginning to touch the trees. Beyond the bridge, the path rides high on a raised embankment overlooking wetlands, a view that feels both urban and wild. From here, the route threads toward the Fredericton airport. The scent of fir trees drips through the air as we skirt the airport. The planes sound small, their hum mixing with the song of crickets. A crow lifts off from the path ahead, and broken chains lie on the ground at the roadside gates, a small mystery in this otherwise peaceful stretch. We meet a few cyclists, about 10 an hour, exchanging waves. At Nevers Road, the Lincoln Trail leaves the airport grounds and enters Lincoln. The path is freshly trimmed here, broad and bright, with just enough clearance that wildlife can be spotted in time should any of them wander onto the path. More broken chains lay on the path, as if some fierce creature had broken free and vanished into Lincoln's green corridor. We stop briefly at an Irving gas station before pressing on toward Fredericton. Irving Gas is a handy stop for refreshments and washrooms. It also owns Canada's largest oil refinery, located in St. John, New Brunswick. By late afternoon, we reach Fredericton. It's kind of a sneaky way to arrive. You slip in along the river, soak in the best of the urban core, and then glide out again on the other side. It's the kind of trail that makes you forget you're in a bustling capital city of over 120,000 people. The path turns to pavement just before downtown. By 4:45, we reach the bright blue Trans-Canada Trail kiosk, marking the end of the Lincoln Trail. That evening, we wander off the trail to explore the city, the historic core with its abundant cafes, legislative buildings, city hall, and garrison district. And we discovered colorful and poignant street art. For example, feathers painted across Queen Street, symbolizing truth and reconciliation. We crossed the Bill Thorpe Bridge, which is next to the blue kiosk, and spent the night on Fredericton's north side. If you enjoy discovering new trails and stories with us, we'd love if you'd subscribe, hit the like button, or leave a comment. By morning, the air was still and misty, the bridge wet from an overnight shower. We cycled back to the bright blue kiosk, had coffee on a sunrise walk along the waterfront before resuming our ride. The morning sun shone on an empty skate park and the powder blue arches of the 104th Regiment of Foot Bridge. Regiment of Foot was a British Army infantry regiment, meaning troops who fought on foot, as opposed to the cavalry who fought on horseback. Near the old Lighthouse Cafe, closed for the season, we climbed the narrow stairs to the lantern room and admired the view over the Wolastoq River. Beside the lighthouse, there is a water source, do-it-yourself bike repair stand, and picnic tables with checkerboard inlays, amenities for travelers that make you feel welcome. Then we began our ride on the City of Fredericton South Riverside Trail, the next leg of our journey, which began at the kiosk. The Trans-Canada Trail kiosk is like the hub of a three-pronged spoke connecting three Trans-Canada Trail routes. The organization is phasing out its kiosk program, and the remaining structures are often used for maps and information by local trail managers. One route follows the Wolastoq River toward Woodstock, another heads back downstream to Oromocto, and the third crosses the river on the Bill Thorpe pedestrian bridge to the North Riverside Trail. Leaving the kiosk behind, we followed the Trans-Canada Trail northwest along the Wolastoq River toward Woodstock. It's a pretty riverfront linear trail with benches, outdoor art displays, and interpretive panels. Trails like this pass through every part of city life, and sometimes you catch glimpses most people never see from the road. Through the trees, I noticed tents and tarps along the shoreline, a temporary encampment. Without warning, a man climbed the embankment right onto the path ahead of me. I didn't see him coming and let out a startled yell, which probably frightened him just as much, as he placed his hand over his heart. I explained I was startled, and we quietly went our separate ways. It was over in seconds, but my heart was still thumping. I kept pedaling, realizing how quickly a small moment can shake your calm. And in that distraction, I missed my turn at the next fork in the trail. Funny how the smallest jolt can send you off course, both on the map and in your thoughts. Not wanting to retrace through the encampment, I checked my GPS for another way to rejoin the Trans-Canada Trail. About 5 city blocks later, after some improvised navigation through quiet streets, I was back on track, rolling along a smooth, paved, off-road path known as the Rookwood Avenue Trail, a short section within the South Riverside Valley Trail system. The Rookwood Trail took only about 5 minutes. At 8:38 a.m., we reached the intersection of Rookwood Avenue and Inglewood Drive, where the Rookwood Trail ends and the Valley Trail begins. Leaving the city core, the Valley Trail begins. Leaves gather on the path, trees arch overhead, and the city slowly gives way to countryside. This section runs straight and level along a former rail bed, mostly screened by trees, with occasional glimpses of tidy neighborhood homes. Midway, the pavement turns to gravel as the trail passes through Angel View Park, a well-kept rest stop with benches, picnic tables, some shaded, and a clean water source. From here, the view opens toward the river and its small islands, all turning shades of gold and red as autumn deepens. The trail signage here is thorough, but not ideal for cyclists. The signs are packed with information, but hard to take in while riding. You pretty much need to stop to read them. Fortunately, there are no confusing turns at this point. Soon the trail enters the Heart Island RV Resort, which along with RV sites with electrical hookups, the resort has tent-only sites, $70 a night in 2025. Beyond this point, the terrain becomes more rolling. After Heart Island, the trail is hemmed in, river and private residences on the right, and a steep embankment on the left. We reached the end of the Valley Trail at 11:57 a.m., a river beside us and the city now well behind. The Woodstock connector begins at Woodstock Road and Pleasant Tree Lane. It's the official Trans-Canada Trail route, not recommended for casual cyclists. The online description warns, for experts only, high-speed traffic, narrow shoulders, and motorized users prioritized. Use extreme caution and daylight only. Soon the route turns off onto Pokiak Road, then onto Lower Shagamak Road, once part of the old Trans-Canada Highway. The yellow lines faded and reappeared in strange places. Each turn makes us wonder if the way ahead still exists, or if the forest has already taken it back. Suddenly, the Shagamak River appears with the most picturesque suspension bridge. Before the McDougwick Dam was built, this was a major highway crossing, and remnants of the old bridge still rest just above the waterline, visible from the boat launch. But the beauty had a heaviness. Tied to the railing was a small teddy bear, a memorial to Victor, a 16-year-old exchange student from Brazil who drowned while swimming close to the pilings. We lingered a moment, letting the weight of the memorial settle with us. Sunlight above, dark water below. From the Shagamak Bridge, the trail leads to Ritchie Road, which in turn takes us onto Temple Road toward Woodstock. In Woodstock, the gravel path ran along the waterfront with puddles from an earlier rain. Each puddle caught the sky, and for a moment I was 5 years old again, puddle jumping in rubber boots near my childhood home. Woodstock itself is hidden behind the trees. As we near the edge of town, the Trans-Canada Trail map directs cyclists to cross the Wolastoq River on Route 585, a busy road. I can't help but wonder if the trail once followed the old railway bridge near Sharp Island. That route would have been safer and more serene. Perhaps one day it will be. Having crossed the river, we follow Highway 105 for the last kilometer and a half, a narrow, winding road with almost no shoulder, until a small Trans-Canada Trail sign appears at the roadside. This is the trailhead to the Wolastoq Valley Trail. There is no parking here, barely a spot to pull over and unload a bike. And that's the end of our 2-day journey from Oromocto to Woodstock, 130 kilometers, and a river that's been with us the whole way. If you've enjoyed the ride, please consider subscribing to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. And we hope to see you all again very soon.